Let's move to another issue here. And pressure group Occupy Ghana is demanding the Attorney General corrects the illegality being perpetrated by the Births and Deaths Registry. The registry is refusing to register names such as Nana, Ni, Nene, Mame, and others, as they say there are stool names or titles for traditional leaders. Occupy Ghana says there is no legal basis for this directive. They are therefore lacing their boots to go to court in 30 days if this does not change. We'll soon be speaking with Occupy Ghana, but let us first of all speak to a parent who has been affected by this directive. Michael Addison joins us via Skype. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Daniel.
So first of all, tell us your experience. You wanted to name your daughter and you found it difficult registering that name?
Yes. I gave my daughter the name Michelle Irajua Addison. And I go to the Birth and Death Registry in Takrade. And they tell me I can't register the name Irajua because Ira is a title. So I could either use lady, and I have a friend who also wants to name the son Oheneba or Inshira. And even though they may refer to titles like Nana and Papa, which we know we have other people with these names, you go and you want to call your child Inshira, Ira, Oheneba, and they tell you they cannot accept these names. And these are local Ghanaian names we want to give to our children to identify with the Ghanaian culture.
Now, Michael, what reason did they give you when they said you couldn't name your daughter Ira?
They tell you Ira is a title and it's not a name. And you go through their act and there's nothing in there specifying what names we have to give. And the answer I was given is these are standard operating procedures they are using. But I don't know how standard operating procedures can supersede the laws or the act that set them up.
Did they refer you to any specific standard operating procedures?
I've asked for that and I've not been given it. I don't know if they give it out to the public. Specifically, no standard operating procedure has been given me to tell me what is in there. And for over 1 year, my daughter was refused a birth certificate.
For 1 year?
Yes.
And how did you eventually get that birth certificate? Did you have to drop the name?
In my case, what happened was the first time I went there and had not the scannable one, not the biometric one, I had the red paper that is issued. They accepted the ERA. So I used that to do a passport for the girl. So even though she had a passport with the name Irajua in it, I was being refused a birth certificate that would bear the name Irajua. So I went back and forth, gave them copies of her passport, and after 6 months, I just got the birth certificate in December.
Right. So, Michael, please stay here a moment for us. We have been joined on the line by Head of Communications for Occupy Ghana, which has taken keen interest in this particular issue. Nana Sapanji heads Media Relations and Communications there. Nana, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, good morning.
So we've cited a letter that you've written to the Attorney General asking that this is reversed or you'd go to court. Have you heard from the Attorney General?
We delivered the letter this morning, so we are yet to get any response. I mean, it was delivered just about an hour ago, so we are yet to get any response.
And in the process of delivering, were you told that it's been given to her? Did you hand it to her, or how did that go?
Well, in the process, so we give it to their secretary, like her secretary, definitely. You have to imagine, you can't take it directly to her office, so it's at the secretariat to be forwarded to her.
Now, Nana, why this keen interest in this particular issue? The Births and Deaths Registry believes that these names are titles and they should not be added on the official documentation of any of these children.
Yeah, it's because, and I being an Nana, that I'm also a victim. But that's not a personal issue. But it's because according to the law guiding this process, Act 301, we didn't see it anywhere in that law which suggests that the Birth and Death Registry can suggest a name or can reject any name or tell you how you arrange your name in order to get a certificate. The law has not given them that power to do that. And so we felt that was quite ridiculous. They going about claiming that they have that power to do such a thing while they've not been given that power by the law governing them.
So in your letter to the Attorney General, you say that you would go to court in 30 days if she does not reverse it. Why do you give that ultimatum? Why don't you go immediately to court?
We want that. I mean, before you go to court, you give someone prior notice. You just don't jump in. You give them prior notice to, come to terms with whatever you're trying to put out. If they do not agree with you, then that's when you have to go and a dispute, settle such a dispute. So this is the first salvo we've thrown. We've given the Attorney General a letter. We've given the Registrar of Birth and Death a letter. We've given the Minister of Local Government also a letter, making them aware that such a process is illegal and it does not conform to any of the laws that govern birth and death registration in Ghana, and that they should stop this act or else we need to seek a bigger interpretation from the court.
Right, thank you very much, Nana Sarpong Bedu, for joining us. He is head of communications at Occupy Ghana. Let me finish up with Michael Addison quickly. Michael, I'm sure you must be excited to hear that a group like Occupy Ghana is taking up a case like this.
Very excited because I'm not the only parent who's been going through this. I think lots of parents have been having these issues for like close to 2 years.
Right. Right, thank you very much, Michael Addison. He's a concerned parent, I should say, about this issue of names being given to our children. Now, we also hit the streets to find out from Ghanaians what they think about this directive. Watch this.
Yes, I would say yes, because my submission is going to be very short, like the dance of an old lady. Let's take this scenario that, a ceremony is being held at Accra City Campus, and then let's say a queen mother is invited, who happens to be Equia when she was born. Now she has attained that position, so she's now called Nana Equia. And a girl who also was born, and then she was registered with the name Nana Equia. So during the time of ceremony, and then they want to acknowledge dignitaries, and they mention Nana Equia, who is supposed to be the queen mother they are referring to, and then this girl is also around. Then, who are they trying to acknowledge? You understand, and I hope you are getting where I'm coming from. So I think as a control measure, the registrars are also doing well with that initiative.
No, I think the government does not have any right to, because some of these names are more like ancestral names. Okay, yeah, they are very indigenous names, and I don't think the government has any say in, taking those names away from. They tend to lose their line of lineage when those names are taken from them. You look at our president, for instance, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Okay, he's Nana, you get it. That doesn't really mean that he was born a royal also. But then with the Nana in his name, like as part of his name, it doesn't change anything.
But they are saying that it's actually a way to, these names can be used in the house, in the communities. It cannot be on your birth certificate.
I still think the government has no right to honor, or like it's not obligated to changing someone's name. Okay, based on my premises, the premises I stated earlier, the government has no right to, take those kind of names because it tends to deviate people from their line of lineage, and this is going to be bad. Even the white, the white ones, they like it when we are ourselves, when we, tend to, maintain our culture and all that. So taking these names away from our names are going to, alter a lot of things.
We are living in an environment whereby we are guided by rules and regulations. You can, if this is what you are saying, then at any point in time, any vendor or any seller could just even go and stand anywhere and then display his items and sell. That is why you can't go to the Flagstaff house and then, mount a table to sell kinkies. You understand? Because we are living in an environment and a society at large, all right, and we would have to abide by rules and regulations. That is why I'm still saying that as a control measure, they are doing right, and they have the right to say that you don't have to register this name because it is a title and not a name.
But what if you are not named after someone? It's just a name that your mother feels like giving to you.
In this world that we are living, and even in this century, you don't just stand up and say, because I feel like doing this, I have to do it. Because I want to be a president, I have to be a president. There are certain criteria you'd have to, for faith. You understand? So if that is anything to go by, then, I mean, they still have a point in saying that we have to ignore some certain titles and prefix, as you said earlier.
What do you have?
You know, like these Nana names and, you know, those kind of prefixes we use, they are more like Mr., Doctor, you know, Professor and all that. So if you are asking us to, you know, regulate those kind of names, then I think Mr., Mrs., Professor and Doctor should also be regulated by these bodies.
The debate rages on about this topic. So watching News Desk, my name is Daniel Daze. Stay with us.